First things first, The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is as different from WandaVision as any two shows from two different networks with two different casts and two different genres can possibly be. But since they are both MCU projects, it is still fair to compare one with the other. Well, fair or not, that comparison will still be made, and it is a no-brainer how The Falcon and the Winter Soldier measures up against an absolute gem that is WandaVision. Hello, namaskar, welcome, swagatam. Right off the bat, the finale of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was exactly as it was built up to be, a top-class action extravaganza. The episode wastes no time to come to the point. But before we talk about it, here is a spoiler warning. At the end of the last episode, we saw Carly and the Flagsmashers gearing up for something big. At the time when the Global Repatriation Council was voting to relocate millions of refugees by force. So that something big is set in motion while Sam and Bucky try to stop them. Sam's attire and gear have been given a Wakandan uplift, and that is both a good and a bad thing in my opinion. The good part is that it is amazing. Sam Wilson pulls off the Captain America look in the most Falcon way possible. The costume design seems to be taken directly from the pages of the comics. It is fresh, elegant and bold. And the shield works well with the costume. Not only aesthetically, but with the Falcon's flying ability, the shield throwing is a deadly combination. The thrusters obviously make up for Sam's limited physical strength to a great extent as far as shield throwing and maneuverability is concerned. But then there is Red Wing. Remember how I said back in the first episode discussion how I found Falcon's suit and especially Red Wing to be too overpowered? Well, now how do you think I feel after the whole thing has been given a serious Wakandan upgrade? There is a very impactful moment during the fight when Sam comes to the rescue of some hostages in an armored vehicle. I have two very big gripes with that sequence. First of all, it was reminiscent of Iron Man. Not at all suited to the Falcon or even Captain America. Second, well, that is a bit practical. Sam is a normal guy. Yes, he is fit and muscular and all that, but when he uses his thrusters to enhance his own jumps and kicks, the actual force is transmitted through his body. Unlike Iron Man, he does not have an armor that could transfer the force of the thrusters to another target, keeping the body safe. But in most action sequences, it is just hits and kicks and pushes, so that is somehow digestible. But here in this episode, with the awesome visual imagery, Sam shouldn't have been able to do what he did the way he did in that sequence. It looked super, but again, it is more like Iron Man than like Falcon. And I fault the writers for both of these issues. They ought to have found another unique way of dealing with that scene, that obstacles, one that could have grounded Falcon as the new and different Captain America. But they had to have the bystanders say he is Captain America to hit the point home.
That's the Black Falcon then! That's him!
Nah, that's Captain America.
Honestly, if I was a bystander at that place, seeing the sequence, my first reaction would have been, yo, isn't that Star Tech? Anyway, yeah, I am quite salty when it comes to overuse of tech or gadgets or even overpowering one superhero. No prize for guessing who I'm talking about. That is not to say I didn't enjoy the action. My opinion about the overall action in the series remains unchanged. The hand-to-hand combat with some enhanced action is quite good. Even the visual effects in this episode are much more refined compared to the previous episodes, including the shield action. Even if the visual effects were not up to the mark in the finale, my biggest issue would have been with the story. Rather, the storytelling. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is an MCU show, and by the virtue of our overhyped expectations, it cannot simply be all about the action. There must be depth in the human parts of the story. The show knows this, that is clear. Everything Sebastian Stan does in this entire show is wonderful. The Black Super Soldier, Isaiah Bradley, Baron Zemo and Sam Wilson Everyone play their part very well, and each one's part has a story, a feeling, except John Walker and Carly Morgenthau. In the finale, John Walker is back in form with a lot of fighting and action and then a sudden redemption. If that redeeming action when John Walker realized he's a hero and his prime motive is to save people, that was a temporary thing and he reverted back to his murderous rage against Carly, that would have been understandable. But his conversion back to being a hero was even more instantaneous than his journey to being a villain. Carly, on the other hand, is arrogant, bordering on being a psychopath with no compunction about murder. Now, here is the weird thing. This is too much like Captain America Civil War, where a huge chunk of the movie was built around the fact that there were more super soldiers who could be controlled by anyone with Hydra's red book. But at the end, during the climax, none of the super soldiers actually came into the picture. They were murdered by Zemo. Now, fast forward to 2021, where Carly supposedly had 7 more super soldiers. One of them sacrificed himself in episode 2, another one Captain America took care of in episode 5. One of them had some action with a helicopter, and 3 of them were just there to walk and talk. I would have loved to see all the super soldiers group up, because if they did, they could have made a force that the trio of Sam, Bucky and John couldn't have easily handled. That could have been a great point to have John to come back to his senses and actually help Sam and Bucky to redeem himself. But super soldiers were just a minor plot driver, it seems. The complete story was basically focused on Carly only. That brings us to Carly's fate, her end, which obviously shouldn't have been that way. But perhaps even the story writers were bored of the character, so they closed that loop, instead of leaving her to reprise her role in some time in the future, like Zemo or like Agatha. What this show also left for the future was John Walker's new persona as US agent. And the weirdest, most illogical twist of the entire season, Sharon Carter's true alter ego. I would have loved to have the real secrets of Madripoor remain a mystery, or to have a more impactful reveal than what we got. Talking about what else I would have loved to see in this show, a cameo by old Steve Rogers. But well, that is just wishful thinking, I guess. Anyways, if you want to sum up the finale, it was great action. I mean, really great. If only the action was backed up by emotions, high stakes, moral dilemma and other highlights of a compelling story, it could have been a rock solid entry in the MCU. Comparing this with WandaVision, there is really no comparison. The emotional and goosebumps inducing story and presentation of WandaVision was MCU excellence in its prime. And I'm glad that WandaVision was the first series that actually aired, despite what schedule they had in the plans before the pandemic hit last year. You can check out my views on WandaVision from the playlist link up here. Coming back to the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, well, as it stands, I was pretty disappointed by the story, how they handled the characters of John Walker and Carly Morgenthau, and also by the CGI, but mostly by how Sam Wilson's character was overshadowed by his Red Wing and all the gadgets. But the good parts were plentiful too throughout the 6 episodes. Sebastian Stan and Daniel Bruhl's acting, the Dora Milaje, the fight choreography, and most of all, the music. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, well, now it is supposed to be called Captain America and the Winter Soldier. It was an enjoyable watch. I give the whole season of Falcon and the Winter Soldier 7 thumbs ups out of 10. What do you think? I'm sure by now you have completed the 6 episodes and you have made up your mind whether The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was the greatest show ever to hit television, or whether it was just mediocre, or maybe a few of you are there who think The Falcon and the Winter Soldier was actually bad. Actually, it was not bad in my opinion, but if you don't agree with my opinion or simply want to speak your mind, please do jump right into the comment sections. As always, I am looking forward eagerly for your feedback and comments. This is all from my side for today. I'll be back soon with another review or any other video on a different topic. Till then, please do subscribe to my channel, The Versatile Doctor, to stay tuned with me and join me on my Discord server or other social media handles to stay connected. This is Dr. Abhinav Atul signing off. Please do keep yourself safe in the second wave of COVID-19 pandemic. It is my pride and privilege to be able to connect with you through this video. Namaskar. While you're still on YouTube, how about you check out this video which YouTube thinks you would like, or check out my WandaVision series discussion.